check out the pizza delivery lady. No, Secretary Clinton has not fallen on hard times, nor is President Biden in a wheelchair. Those images are just a hint of where things are headed in our brave new world of artificial intelligence. The creators say it's satire and assure us that they don't take political stances or aim to spread fake news or fear. What a relief. Except that there are plenty of good citizens ready to handle that side of the business.
Now, everything about this woman, and I mean everything, comes across as phony.
We live in an age of alternate facts.
Today's Republican Party sees diversity as the top national security threat.
More and more Americans are getting their information almost entirely from outlets that echo their own political point of view.
I believe Dr. Fauci has manufactured the coronaviruses.
Now there's 100% evidence that the deep state colluded with the mainstream media to actively interfere in the last presidential election.
The man who Republican members of Congress call Orange Jesus wants to shut down MSNBC.
And then, of course, there's social media, where there are a few, if any, filters between users and a wide world of misinformation.
And look what happened to our country.
For example, July 13th, when a sniper came within inches of assassinating Donald Trump as he addressed an outdoor rally in Pennsylvania.
Take a look at what happened.
Within minutes, social media was alive.
Who did it?
With uninformed speculation.
It was the government themselves. They're all on the same side.
We have no idea who she is. She has no particular credibility. Why should I even care that she is out there?
Because she could potentially have an audience. If the algorithm gives it steam, that could be seen by millions of people.
And then on X, formerly Twitter, this message. You're telling me the Secret Service let a guy climb up on a roof with a rifle only 150 yards from Trump? Inside job. 7 million views and counting.
We're at a point where nobody believes anything. Truth as a concept is really in trouble. It's suspect.
The cumulative impact of the lies and distortions just keeps growing, such that journalist Steven Brill titled his new book, The Death of Truth.
There are facts, and it used to be in this world that people could at least agree on the same set of facts, and then they could debate what to do about those facts.
But we're losing our grip on any sort of shared reality. Steven Brill's company, NewsGuard, is attempting to put the brakes on.
What are you looking at?
I'm looking into this fake Hamas threat that was part of a Russian disinformation campaign.
Its 40 or so staffers around the world identify and rate the credibility of online news and information sources. It's a finger in the dike, because there's no price to be paid.
So I see this bill as an enormous contribution to our moving into the information age.
Almost 30 years ago, the federal government decided that internet platforms were like the phone company.
Welcome. You've got mail.
You can't sue the phone company for what a caller might say in a phone conversation.
They inserted a 3-paragraph section called Section 230, which said these new chat room publishers would not be responsible for anything that was published in their chat rooms.
Instead, it left the internet essentially without any enforceable rules. Social media companies exercise only limited control, permitting lies, fake news, and intentionally divisive content to proliferate. A torrent of allegedly Moscow-backed content
Ukraine is our enemy, being funded by the Democrats.
Provoked an angry reaction from the U.S. this past week.
The charges unsealed this morning do not represent the end of the investigation.
But most of the damage is self-inflicted, homegrown. from national and supposedly local outlets.
There are more fake news sites posing as legitimate local news in the United States than there are news sites of legitimate local newspapers. There is no monopoly on virtue from either side here. Just to take an example, the most effective fake local news sites are financed by liberal political action committees. And they're sort of especially self-righteous about it. When I interviewed them, they basically said, well, the other guys do it, so we'll do it. But it's undermining democracy.
And then Brill points out we're just beginning to come to terms with the full potential of artificial intelligence.
My fellow Americans, I want to take a moment to address some of the hateful you've been talking about me.
None of these images is real.
It disorients everything because you don't know if something is a hoax or is political propaganda or is a deepfake. You just don't know what to believe.
In the environment you described, is it possible for us to have a clean, fair, universally acceptable election?
Your last condition is the one that is, I think, impossible. Universally acceptable. Forget universally, even modestly acceptable. I have a real fear that one way or another, regardless of the outcome, that the chaos and the disbelief and anger that's going to prevail on November 6th, the day after the election, is really going to put our country to a test.